We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Good morning, guten Tag, buenos dias, hola, ohayou gozaimasu, bonjour, bagangang hapanpo, and all that jazz. Good morning, hello, how are you? It is now 7:12 a.m. in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Funky Town, Texas. It's 7:12 a.m. It's Tuesday morning. It is July 28th. I don't know why that looks like a 3 to me. It is July 28, 2020, and we're getting ready for the Bible reading party. Nicole's ready to get it started. Eva Fraser's in the house, and the Wiz is here too. And for all of you folks watching on the replay, howdy. We got Good Morning 40 Fam, Good Morning 40 Fam, Good Morning Kenya, Good Morning Eva Fraser. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's not only Tuesday, it's Opportunity Tuesday. And I took the opportunity to go live in my car. It was unlisted. I didn't even realize it, but it's public now. I went live in my car on the way home, and that's why I'm a little bit late, because I stopped and took a sunset video for about 2 minutes. And then I edited it in my car real quick and came on over here. Morning. I hit the like button. Thank you so much. Warm them palms up. Warm them thumbs up. Warm them digits up. Like the like button so that other people can find this wonderful Bible reading party. Well, not really starring. More like hosted by yours truly, Kenya. This is my Bible. It is the New Believer's Bible Compact version. I had a conversation with a guy last night at work. He told me he has never read the Bible before. I was just like, I didn't know people like that existed. I mean, I had never read the Bible all the way through. He said he never cracked open a book. So hopefully he and I can have some future conversations, and maybe I can convince him what a great idea it would be to read the Bible. Are you somebody watching, you right there? I don't know you yet, but are you someone who has never read the Bible before? And is this your first time here? I would like to welcome you to Boulevard 40, welcome you to the Bible. This is a Bible that I would suggest for anybody reading the Bible for the very first time, because it is a modern language type of Bible, unlike say the classic King James Version that have some old-fashioned kind of words in it. But yeah, if you're watching, guy, I'm not going to say your name, but if you're watching, hello and welcome, and come back so you can watch the reading. So that's my Bible. Oh, Laurie. Let me take a picture of this really quick, because he was asking who wrote that Bible. I said, well, the apostles wrote the Bible, and the prophets wrote the Bible, and all those other people inspired by God. But this is who published, not wrote, but published. This is who published this book. This is Laurie. Laurie, as it says here, is... Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Laurie is the publisher, author of the New Believer Study Tracts and Notes. He's also a pastor and an evangelist. And yes, it is his work within the pages of this book, the different commentaries. So I just thought that was interesting, that conversation we had at work. I was like, what? Well, didn't I like to take a picture of my knee? This is the Bible dictionary that I use on occasion. Is the Nelson's Compact Series. The link to this and the link to this is in the description if you would like to check that out. And let me do a screen share so you all can see what I see. We are in week A new version of this book is available. The new version will be downloaded while you continue to read. Okay, thank you, Kindle. A new version of the book? Really? Let's see what's going on here. This is my Bible study guide. This is a woman's guide to reading the Bible in a year by Diane Stortz. It's a life-changing journey into the heart of God. And yes, this is what I've been using since January 1st. This is a Kindle digital version, but there is a printed copy available for those who like the physical version. This is the table of contents. This is how it's broken down. Each week is a new theme, depending on what's being read and the stories being told. And we are in week 31. And the theme for this week is For Such a Time as This. For such a time as this. The Israelites were in exile for a while. They're coming back home. They're rebuilding the temple. They've dedicated the temple, and that we all read in the book of Ezra. Today, we are breaking open a new book. And hey, this is the second time only that I have stayed in a particular testament. You know, last week I was talking about, let's see. Was it last week? Maybe it was the week before. Nope. Maybe it was this week I was talking about. Yeah, this is the first time that we are, I thought it was the second time, but this is the first time that we are staying within the same testament, even though we're going to two different books. I thought that happened already. Oh well. So in the gold box, you see read and you see checkpoints. The checkpoints for this week are a letter from a king, which we did go through. A letter from a king. I believe that was from King Darius in Ezra. Beard hairs. We covered that yesterday. Beard hairs in Ezra as well. And after the priests and Levites discovered that a lot of their leadership, their spiritual leadership, had actually intermarried with these pagan women, and that was kind of like a bad pattern of things that had been happening before they even went into exile. A lot of their sinful ways, a lot of their downfall was because they had picked up the habits of these surrounding nations, and they stopped serving God. They started being idol worshipers and sacrificing their children and just doing all kinds of horrible things. And so now this leadership, the spiritual leadership, the people who are supposed to know the right thing, they started intermarrying with these pagan people who were not Jewish women. And so it's very easy to start becoming like your partner if you're not equally yoked, if you're not of the same faith, if you're not of the same beliefs. You know, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're two birds, you're going to start becoming more like each other. Maybe their pagan wives did start to do some Jewish things, but I think they probably started doing some of the things that their wives were doing. And so who was that yesterday? I'll get into the details of it in a second. But that's what was happening with the beard hairs. Somebody was so distraught and so upset that they were pulling out their hair, tearing their clothes, and pulling out their beard hairs out of sheer distress and sorrow for this. The next checkpoint is a dethroned queen and a golden scepter. And Nehemiah starts today. While I still got my screen share with you, let me share with you the Bible in 1 year website, which is my website. If you need a Bible, come to this website and buy it. Because if you use the affiliate link, I can get credit for that. If you need a Bible, come and buy a Bible through this link. If you are feeling generous and you would like to donate to an organization that does help other people get Bibles for free, you can use this link right here. That one right there. There's some other links up here. I will leave you to check those out in your free time. In the meantime, let's get to it. Let's get to this Bible reading. Oh, my hair's all coming apart. I rewrapped my headscarf on the way home. Oh, there's still saw one back there. It is Tuesday. It's Opportunity Tuesday. I hope all listening to this will take the opportunity to read the Bible today. Okay. All right, we're in business. I'm back. I can see everybody. I hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Morning and morning. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Nehemiah. Yep. Nehemiah we learned about yesterday. I think that's one of the prophets. Let's see. Nehemiah. I normally don't do a recap when I'm going from one book to the next, but I just want to see really quick who that was in distress. Oh, that was Ezra. Duh. Ezra. Let's see. Chapter 9, verse 3. This is Ezra's prayer concerning intermarriage. There's several verses before this, but in verse 3 it says, when he heard about these mixed marriages that the leaders had done, he was outraged. When I heard this, I tore my cloak and my shirt. I pulled my hair from my head and beard and sat down utterly shocked. So that was one of the checkpoints from yesterday. And he was very, very upset and ashamed that the leadership had did this. Let's see. The people did confess of their sins, and those guilty of marriage divorced their wives. Some of these people had kids with these wives, but they did it for the betterment of the nation because they knew time and time again, every time we mix with people that are not of the faith, we fall. And all these bad things happen to us, and we're just now coming out of exile, so let's have a fresh start. Nehemiah starts right now. The author is Nehemiah. The date written is 445 BC to 432 BC. The genre is a narrative. And it says here, the book of Nehemiah is a wonderful story of how to handle opposition and discouragement when you are seeking to serve the Lord. I should have read this when I first started at my job. Let me stop. I'm thankful for my job, but boy, oh boy, sometimes there's a lot of opposition from places that you would not imagine. Things are getting better. But yeah, how to handle opposition and discouragement when you're seeking to serve the Lord. You're trying to do good. You're trying to be good. I'm trying, Lord. I'm trying. It says here, Nehemiah was a cupbearer for the king of Persia. After hearing about the danger the city of Jerusalem was in, he returned there and, despite local opposition, completed reconstruction of the walls and gates of the city in 52 days. Chapter 1. These are the memoirs of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. Nehemiah's concern for Jerusalem. In late autumn, in the month of Kislev, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was at the fortress of Susa. Hanani, one of my brothers, came to visit me with some other men who had just arrived from Judah. I asked him about the Jews who had returned there from captivity and about how things were going in Jerusalem. They said to me, things are not going well for those who return to the province of Judah. They are in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem has been torn down, and the gates have been destroyed by fire. When I heard this, I sat down and wept. In fact, for days I mourned, fasted, and prayed to the God of heaven. Then I said, O Lord, God of heaven, the great and awesome God, who keeps his covenant and his unfailing love with those who love him and obey his commands, listen to my prayer. And he said it just like that. Look down and see me praying night and day for your people in Israel. I confess that we have sinned against you. Yes, even my own family and I have sinned. We have sinned terribly by not obeying the commands, decrees, and regulations that you gave us through your servant Moses. Please remember what you told your servant Moses. If you are unfaithful to me, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to me and obey my commands and live by them, then even if you are exiled to the ends of the earth, I will bring you back to the place I've chosen for my name to be honored. The people you rescued by your great power and strong hand are your servants. O Lord, please hear my prayer. Listen to the prayers of those who delight in honoring you. Please grant me success today by making the king favorable to me. Put it in his heart to be kind to me. That's what he prayed. In those days, I was the cupbearer. That is chapter 1 of Nehemiah. I'm going to take a quick break to look into my handy dandy Bible dictionary because I like to always make sure that I'm reading, pronouncing their names properly. I think I am. I think I've heard that name enough in church that I'm familiar with it. But sometimes you never know. LMNOP, Nob, No, Aman, Nimrod, New Year, Nephilim, Nebuzaradan, Necklace, Nebuchadnezzar, Nehemiah. Here we go. This is how you pronounce his name. Nehemiah. That's what I thought. Nehemiah. And his name actually means the Lord is consolation. The Lord is consolation. It says here, the governor of Jerusalem who helped rebuild the wall of the city. Nehemiah was a descendant of the Jewish population that had been taken captive to Babylon, 586 BC. In 539 BC, Cyrus the Persian gained control over all Mesopotamia. He permitted the Jewish exiles to return to the city of Jerusalem. Nearly a century later, in Nehemiah's time, the Persian ruler was Artaxerxes, the first, Longimanus. Nehemiah was his personal cupbearer. In 445 BC, Nehemiah learned of the deplorable condition of the returned exiles in Jerusalem. The wall of the city was broken down, the gates were burned, and the people were in distress. Upon hearing this, Nehemiah mourned for many days, fasting and praying to God. His prayer is one of the most moving in the Old Testament. Nehemiah then received permission from Artaxerxes to go to Judah to restore the fortunes of his people. He was appointed governor of the province with authority to rebuild the city walls. Once in Jerusalem, Nehemiah surveyed the walls at night. He gave his assessment of the city's condition to the leaders and officials and then organized a labor force to begin the work. Nehemiah and his work crew were harassed by 3 enemies: Sanballat the Horonite, a Samaritan, Tobiah the Ammonite official, and Geshem the Arab. But neither their ridicule nor their conspiracy to harm Nehemiah could stop the project. The builders worked with construction tools in one hand and weapons in the other. Dang. To the taunt of his enemies, Nehemiah replied, I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down. Jerusalem's wall was finished in 52 days. A marvelous accomplishment for such a great task. Nehemiah's success stems from the fact that he kept praying. Oh God, strengthen my hands. Nehemiah's activities did not stop with the completion of the wall. He also led many social and political reforms among the people, including a return to pure worship and a renewed emphasis on true religion. And there's a picture here of the excavated section of the wall built by Nehemiah in Jerusalem after the Jewish people returned from captivity in Babylon. So this thing is still standing. Oh no. Not more buffering. Oh no. Let's see if I can get something done here. Because YouTube is telling me that I've got excellent stream health. Oh boy. YouTube is not currently receiving data for the stream. If you believe this is incorrect, ensure you're sending a stream and that it's configured with the correct stream key. Pushing through. Pushing through. I'm going to start reading over from chapter 1 and move on into chapter 2, just in case some of that buffering was interrupting the reading. And I'm going to push through. Chapter 1. These are the memoirs of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. Nehemiah's concern for Jerusalem in late autumn. In the month of Kislev, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was at the fortress of Susa. Hanani, one of my brothers, came to visit me with some other men who had just arrived from Judah. I asked them about the Jews who had returned there from captivity and how things were going in Jerusalem. They said to me, "Things are not going well for those who return to the province of Judah. They are in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem has been torn down and the gates have been destroyed by fire." When I heard this, I sat down and wept. In fact, for days I mourned, fasted, and prayed to the God of heaven. Then I said, "O Lord, God of heaven, the great and awesome God who keeps his covenant of unfailing love with those who love him and obey his commands, listen to my prayer. Look down and see me praying night and day for your people Israel. I confess that we have sinned against you. Yes, even my own family and I have sinned. We have sinned terribly by not obeying the commands, decrees, and regulations that you gave us through your servant Moses. Please remember what you told your servant Moses. If you are unfaithful to me, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to me and obey my commands and live by them, then even if you're exiled to the ends of the earth, I will bring you back to the place I've chosen for my name to be honored. The people you rescued by your great power and strong hand are your servants. Oh Lord, please hear my prayer. Listen to the prayer of those who delight in honoring you. Please grant me success today by making the king favorable to me. Put it into his heart to be kind to me. In those days I was the king's cupbearer. Chapter 2. Nehemiah goes to Jerusalem. Early the following spring, in the month of Nisan, during the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was serving the king his wine. I had never before appeared sad in his presence. So the king asked me, "Why are you looking so sad? You don't look sick to me. You must be deeply troubled." Then I was terrified, but I replied, "Long live the king! How can I not be sad? For the city where my ancestors are buried is in ruins, and the gates have been destroyed by fire." The king asked, "Well, how can I help you?" "With a prayer to the God of heaven," I replied. "If it please the king, and if you are pleased with me, your servant, send me to Judah to rebuild the city where my ancestors are buried." The king, with the queen sitting beside him, asked, "How long will you be gone? When will you return?" After I told him how long I would be gone, the king agreed to my request. I also said to the king, "If it please the king, let me have letters addressed to the governors of the province west of the Euphrates River, instructing them to let me travel safely through their territories on my way to Judah. And please give me a letter addressed to Asaph, the manager of the king's forest, instructing him to give me timber. I will need it to make beams for the gates of the temple fortress, for the city walls, and for a house for myself." And the king granted these requests because the gracious hand of God was on me. When I came to the governors of the province west of the Euphrates River, I delivered the king's letters to them. The king, I should add, had sent along army officers and horsemen to protect me. But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite official heard of my arrival, they were very displeased that someone had come to help the people of Israel. Verse 11. Nehemiah inspects Jerusalem's wall. So I arrived in Jerusalem. 3 days later, I slipped out during the night, taking only a few others with me. I had not told anyone about the plans God had put in my heart for Jerusalem. We took no pack animals with us except the donkey I was riding. After dark, I went out through the valley gate, past the jackal's well, and over to the dung gate to inspect the broken walls and burned gates. Then I went to the fountain gate and to the king's pool, but my donkey couldn't get through the rubble. So, though it was still dark, I went up the Kidron Valley instead, inspecting the wall, before I turned back and entered again at the valley gate. The city officials did not know I had been out there or what I was doing, for I had not yet said anything to anyone about my plans. I had not yet spoken to the Jewish leaders, the priests, the nobles, the officials, or anyone else in the administration. But now I said to them, "You know very well what trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been destroyed by fire. Let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem and end this disgrace." Then I told them about how the gracious hand of God had been on me and about my conversation with the king. They replied at once, "Yes, let's rebuild the wall." So they began the good work. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab heard of our plan, they scoffed contemptuously. "What are you doing? Are you rebelling against the king?" they asked. I replied, "The God of heaven will help us succeed. We, his servants, will start rebuilding this wall. But if you have no share, legal right, or historic claim in Jerusalem." Chapter 3, Rebuilding the Wall of Jerusalem. Then Eliashib the high priest and the other priests started to rebuild at the sheep gate. They dedicated it and set up its doors, building the wall as far as the Tower of the 100, which they dedicated, and the Tower of Hananel. People from the town of Jericho worked next to them, and beyond them was Zakur, son of Imri. The fish gate was built by the sons of Hasinah. They laid the beams, set up its doors, and installed its bolts and bars. Meremoth, son of Uriah and grandson of Hakkoz, repaired the next section of wall. Beside him were Meshullam, son of Berechiah and grandson of Meshisabel, and then Zadok, son of Baana. Next were the people of Tekoa. Though their leaders refused to work with the construction supervisors. The old city gate was repaired by Joiada, son of Paseah, and Meshullam, son of Besodiah. They laid the beams, set up its doors, and installed its bolts and bars. Next to them were Melatiah from Gibeon, Jadon from Meronoth, people from Gibeon, and people from Mizpah, the headquarters of the governor of the province west of the Euphrates River. Next was Uzziel, son of Harhiah, a goldsmith by trade who also worked on the wall. Beyond him was Hananiah, a manufacturer of perfumes. They left out a section of Jerusalem as they built the broad wall. Rephaiah, son of Hur, the leader of half the district of Jerusalem, was next to them on the wall. Next, Jedediah, son of Harumaph, repaired the wall across from his own house, and next to him was Hattush, son of Hashabniah. Then came Malchijah, son of Haram, and Hashub, son of Pahath Moab, who repaired another section of the wall and the Tower of the Ovens. Shallum, son of Halohesh, and his daughters repaired the next section. He was the leader of the other half of the district of Jerusalem. The valley gate was repaired by the people from Zanoah, led by Hanun. They set up its doors and installed its bolts and bars. They also repaired 1,500 feet of wall to the dung gate. The dung gate was repaired by Malchijah, son of Rechab, the leader of the Beth Hakerem district. He rebuilt it, set up its doors, and installed its bolts and bars. The fountain gate was repaired by Shallum, son of Kol-Hozez, the leader of the Mizpah district. He rebuilt it, roofed it, set up its doors, and installed its bolts and bars. Then he repaired the wall of the pool of Siloam, near the king's garden, and he rebuilt the wall as far as the stairs that descend from the city of David. Next to him was Nehemiah, son of Azbuk, the leader of half the district of Beth Zur. He rebuilt the wall from a place across the tombs of David's family as far as the water reservoir and the house of the warriors. Next to him, repairs were made by a group of Levites working under the supervision of Rehum, son of Bani. Then came Hashabiah, the leader of half the district of Keilah, who supervised the building of the wall on behalf of his own district. Next down the line were his countrymen led by Benui, son of Henadad, the leader of the other half of the district of Keilah. Next to them, Azer, son of Jeshua, the leader of Mizpah, repaired another section of wall across from the ascent to the armory near the angle in the wall. Next to him was Baruch, son of Zabbai, who zealously repaired an additional section from the angle to the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest. Meremoth, son of Uriah and grandson of Hakaz, rebuilt another section of the wall extending from the door of Eliashib's house to the end of the house. The next repairs were made by the priest from the surrounding regions. After them, Benjamin and Hashub repaired the section across from their house, and Azariah, son of Maaseiah and grandson of Ananiah, repaired the section across from his house. Next was Benui, son of Henadad, who rebuilt another section of the wall from Azariah's house to the angle and the corner. Palal, son of Uzai, carried on the work from a point across the angle and the tower that projects up from the king's upper house beside the court of the guard. Next to him were Pedaiah, son of Perosh, with the temple servants living on the hill of Ophel, who repaired the wall as far as a point across from the water gate to the east and projecting tower. Then came the people of Tekoa, who repaired another section across from the great projecting tower and over to the wall of Ophel. Above the horse gate, the priest repaired the wall. Each one repaired the section immediately across from his own house. Next, Zadok, son of Immer, also rebuilt the wall across from his own house, and beyond him was Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, the gatekeeper of the east gate. Next, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the sixth son of Zalaph, repaired another section, while Meshullam, son of Berechiah, rebuilt the wall across from where he lived. Malchijah, one of the goldsmiths, repaired the wall as far as the housing for the temple servants and merchants across from the inspection gate. Then he continued as far as the upper room at the corner. The other goldsmiths and merchants repaired the wall from that corner to the sheep gate. Laverne says, hello. Hello. That's it for today's reading. That has been Nehemiah chapters 1-3. I'm so glad that the buffering is over and that I was able to complete that reading with no interruption. Thank you for your time. Quick outro prayer. Lord, may anyone who's listening to this today, tomorrow, or whenever be motivated and inspired to read the Bible in their own time so that they can come to their own understanding, benefit from a relationship with you, increasing in their faith and finding purpose to live their best life. That is my prayer for this Bible reading. Amen.